Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining on Thursday's call. Appreciate you making time to be here. I do have several more updates for you, but we are very grateful to have our partners from Consumers Energy on the call today. Catherine Burkholder, our Community Affairs Manager representing Shiawassee County, also a member of our SEDP board, is here to give you all an update on what they're working on to help businesses and communities through this crisis. I did send out an email to all of you. You should have gotten regarding a toolkit as well that they're offering. So please check your email for that. But very much appreciate our partnership with Consumers. Obviously, they provide all the power and gas to all of our companies in Shiawassee County, and they've been very helpful over all the years we've been doing this in helping to serve existing clients, new clients with their power and gas needs. So we're very grateful for that and for all that they've done to give back to the community through the organization as well as their foundation, too. So I do want to put in a plug for the Consumers Energy Foundation. They have been extremely supportive of Shiawassee County. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Catherine. Catherine, make sure to hit *6 on your phone to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you're good.
Wonderful. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. And thank you, Justin, for inviting me to join this call and to update everyone on what Consumers Energy is doing to support all of our customers, during these very difficult times. And I always appreciate that you acknowledge the fact that we're, keeping power flowing and keeping homes warm. And I will share a few operational things that we've been doing to make sure that that happens, because it hasn't been easy during all of this. One of the things people don't always understand is that Consumers Energy doesn't just work on making sure it gets into your home and your business. We also generate electricity and natural gas and make sure it gets throughout the state. So one of the things that our employees, one of the sacrifices they made is our generating plants employees we're on a 14-day rotation at our Campbell, Karn, Zeeland, Jackson, and Ludington generating plants, as well as some of our gas compression sites. So we so appreciate their sacrifice. The good news is that they are now going to be able to report to work as usual, of course, using safety protocols. But they were living away from their families for 2 weeks at a time, living in hotels and RVs. So we so appreciate our employees who work so hard to make sure that, again, our electricity and natural gas does keep flowing. So that's, just one of the things we've been doing. We were able to resume a lot of our work, always, of course, adhering to our COVID-19 policies and procedures for gas construction. Some of you are familiar with our enhanced infrastructure replacement program, where we're upgrading our gas infrastructure throughout the state. And of course, our critical infrastructure and work, both in electric and natural gas. So our employees are out there, and we're working hard, again, to make sure that we stay safe. Number one, safety is always a priority at our company. And then, of course, number two, to make sure that our infrastructure is updated and that we're always a reliable source for our customers. So those are just some of the operational things that I wanted to share with you. Again, we are, of course, encouraging our employees, and they are wearing masks and following protocols. I will share with you, like many of you, I've been told that it probably will be months before I can go back into any of our service centers, and that if I do, I have to go through some practices and procedures before I can even walk in the door. But they are allowing us to take our chairs home and things we need to be comfortable at home. As always, they're very supportive of us. So, again, like the rest of you, I'm getting used to this. There are some days I don't want to be working from home and would much rather be seeing all of you face to face. But for now, this is what we're going to do. And as they keep using the phrase new normal, while I love that we have the technology to do this, I really cannot wait to get back out in my communities. So that's a little bit about what's going on operationally. I also wanted to share with you, Justin mentioned our foundation. And of course, Carolyn Bloodworth, those of you who know Carolyn, one of the hardest working people I know. She is our Director of Corporate Giving, and she's been doing a lot of work to make sure that that between the foundation and at what our employees are doing, that we give back to our communities and try to help them during this. I will tell you, it's looking like we're at about $3.5 million to support our communities in COVID relief. That's from the foundation, which is, a big deal. I am a few days early. I can't share too much information, but I will give you a little bit of a glimpse into what an announcement that's going to be coming up next week. In the world of small business, we're going to be providing support to organizations with a focus on women and minority-owned small businesses. So that's very exciting for us. We're thrilled to be able to support them. We're also going to be able to support the Michigan Women Forward Resilience Microloan and Grant Fund program. So again, be looking for those announcements that will be coming up next week. And I believe our total for supporting small businesses across the state will be about $1.8 million in grants once those announcements are made. So, Patty Poppy is known to say, one of my favorite phrases of hers, and she has many, was, when Michigan wins, we win. So it's always important for us, for our businesses, small businesses, large businesses, corporations, residents, to be successful, because they are, that's what supports us. So we're doing we're working hard to make sure that we listen to our communities, our leadership, our small business leaders, and try to listen to what they need. So I'm really looking forward to those announcements. I should also share with you that we're doing a lot of work with our community action agencies, including the Shiawassee Community Foundation Community Care Fund for COVID-19. Another big announcement will be coming out that we're going to be supporting them next week. I'm not yet allowed to give you dollar amounts, but again, so happy that we can help support our customers in our communities. I will mention that one of my favorite moments in the last few weeks was when Carolyn told all of myself and all of my counterparts across the state that support all of our local counties. She was able to give each of us $5,000, and it felt a little bit, I have to say, I just had a moment of I can finally do something, and it felt so good to be able to reach out to the different organizations in each of my counties and say, I have some money, and let me help a little bit. So far, just so you know, I've reached out to in Shiawassee County, the Hunger Network, the Salvation Army, the Safe Center, the Voices for Children Advocacy Center, Capital Area Community Services, and yesterday, I will mention that Nathan Henney mentioned that your YMCA is also doing some great work to support your community. So I was able to make another donation to them. So it's been good for me. In all of this, I think so many of us feel like we're not empowered, or our hands are tied a little bit. And just that little something, being able to reach out to these organizations that right now are working so hard to keep our families afloat and fed, and to help them in any way they can, that was a lot for me. So it's felt good to be able to give back and reach out where I can. So those are just some of the things that the foundation and Carolyn have been working on. And again, I'll be sharing information next week, and you'll probably see some news releases announcing how we are supporting the community action agencies and, of course, our small business community. So I'm going to take a breath there. Does anybody have any questions for me at this point? All right. Justin shared with everyone, he sent it out via email yesterday, a toolkit. We're calling it our Small Business Assistance Toolkit. And it's just a 2-page document that, first and foremost, what we like to remind people of it is, we want to help. Consumers energy, people sometimes talk about, disconnecting services and things like that. And I always tell them, boy, you know what? It's our last resort. We reach out over and over again to make sure we never have to do that. And in these times, we are more determined than ever to reach out to our residents and our businesses and offer assistance to make sure that never happens. So we encourage people to reach out early. There is a phone number on there, our 800-805-0490. We have customer service representatives that are ready to talk with our small business customers, to work on payment options with them, and to also connect them with some of the sources for state and federal relief that, and I have to say this, Justin, you've done such an amazing job of updating everybody on the resources that are available. Every day I open up my email and I know there's going to be the latest and greatest information from you. I cannot thank you enough for the work you're doing to support all of your businesses in Shiawassee County. I know that is your passion and it shows. So thank you. A lot of what we have here are things that you've already shared, but again, this is just one more resource for people to contact us. We certainly have some of the things Justin has mentioned, the Paycheck Protection Program, and we do have a little snippet on there that encourages people to apply quickly due to the interest in that program. But there are also some some offerings that are specific to consumers energy. I will share with you under the Small Business Survival Kit, there is a toolkit there, and that is sort of a brainchild with the Jackson Chamber, and one of our vice presidents, Scott McIntosh, who is our vice president of our tax. He's a financial guy, and he's done a lot of work. And I will mention that on the first page, you might notice that it says there is a disclaimer because we are not in the finance business. However, he thought it was very important to come up with a way for small businesses to navigate all of the different options that are out there, and he created, it is a spreadsheet. It's not beautiful. It doesn't look company specific, but it does offer small businesses a checklist of things that they can think about as they're navigating the waters of how to stay afloat, what resources are out there. There are also some cash flow budget sheets and other sheets on there that just help them sort of organize some of their expenses and what's going on out there. So again, it's nothing that we're branding. It's just a tool that they designed, and I did want to share it with everyone because, again, some of the small businesses in Jackson County thought it was very helpful to them. So we wanted to include that with this as well. I also wanted to mention that there is a virtual energy coaching link in there, and that is really helpful. We have people, again, that are ready to talk to our business customers that can share information about how to save energy, rebate programs, and customized programs for whatever their energy needs might be. So there are a lot of links in there. They can sign up for a small business energy efficiency assessment. We have people that can offer them tips and suggestions for how they can save energy within their business. And then there are all sorts of other, again, ideas for rebate programs, tools and tips, and other special programs that might be of assistance to our small business customers at this time. So there is a lot of great information within this document. And as always, I would like to mention the Pure Michigan Business Connect program. We are one of the founding partners in this program. And if any of our businesses have not yet seen whether or not they could qualify to be one of the small businesses profiled within the Pure Michigan Business Connect, they can go online there and register, and if they are a supplier, and become part of that database. And again, Consumers Energy did commit to spending $7.5 billion with Michigan-based suppliers over the next, well, at this point, it's about 4 years, because that was in June of 2019. So again, as you can see, it is always important to us to support our local businesses within the state. So again, lots of great information there, and I am always here to assist and answer questions. And I know I've been doing a lot of talking, but these are just some small things, small and big things that I wanted to share with you. My heart is always in Shiawassee County. I do love coming up there. I miss visiting some of the local businesses up there, and look forward to seeing all of you again soon. So at this point, if anyone has any questions for me, I'm happy to do a little bit of Q&A.
Great, Catherine. Thank you. A lot of great information. If you have a comment or question for Catherine, just a reminder, hit *6 on your phone. *6, please.
Good morning, Catherine. This is Laura from the YMCA, and I just wanted to thank you on behalf in this difficult time. Everything that you can do to support us and our community really does help, and I just want you to know how grateful we are for your ability to do so and for reaching out to us.
Oh, Laura, I'm so glad. Thank you so much. Again, I appreciate the work that you do, and anything we can do to help.
Goodbye.
Oh.
Nope.
So, yep, happy to help, and please know that my thoughts are with you in all of these times as you help our families in the community.
Thank you.
Other comments or questions for Catherine?
Login incorrect. Mailbox.
That overhead voice came on again. Not sure what's causing that. Any other comments or questions for Catherine? Okay. Well, Catherine, thank you so much. Great job today, and as always, we do appreciate the partnership
Mailbox
we have with our friends at Consumers Energy, and for all that you do to support our community. We're very, very grateful. So thank you for that. And if you want to follow up with Catherine, your contact information is in that toolkit email that I forwarded out to everybody. So, Catherine, anything else you want to add?
Goodbye. Immediate mail. Mailbox.
Quite a bit of talking.
Yeah, I know.
But
I'm not sure what that is.
Again, thank you for having me, and always, doing what you do for your communities and businesses, Justin. I can't say enough how lucky they are to have you at the helm. Thank you.
Thank you,
Login
Catherine.
incorrect. Mailbox.
Yeah. Sorry, guys and gals. I'm not sure what that is. We'll try to figure out probably after the call what's going on with that. So we'll just have to try to make it through. So a few updates for you that we wanted to share today.
Login incorrect. Mailbox.
PPP and EIDL, that is in process. We are starting to hear some folks that are in the pipeline for round 2 are starting to get feedback. from their institutions that they're getting some approval, so that's good. It looks like that process
incorrect.
is.
Goodbye. Canadian Mail. Mailbox.
Oh. Yep. I don't know. Brett or Jody, any guesses? I know that's pretty distracting, folks, and we do apologize for that overhead noise. If Brent or Jody has any ideas on how to fix that, please work on that. But no, that process is going forward for most companies now. They're getting feedback that things are getting through the pipeline for round 2, getting approvals. The one big concern, and I know some of you on the call are facing this, that I had a conversation with a local company last night on, and we brought this up before, is this issue of not taking the money because people either don't want to come off unemployment or the company doesn't want to basically get into a fight and try to force their people back off unemployment. And the challenge here is a lot of these businesses don't have, we're not open yet, obviously, so they don't have the work for people to come back to. So it's creating a bit of a dynamic where I think we may get some companies that get the PPP but may not actually utilize it because of that. So I know some of you are looking at that. The one thing that I mentioned to this company that you may want to consider is whether or not you want to possibly use some of that PPP money as either hazard pay or to give your workers a temporary bump in pay as an offset to stay on unemployment. So obviously every company's different, every situation is different, but I've heard that from a few folks, and that unemployment question, like we've talked about, is a bit of a deterrent for some folks to want to come back on that. So I just wanted to mention that. Once again, I'm sure you're all evaluating your own particular circumstance on that. If you need any guidance or ideas, let us know. If you're still in need, I don't think there's too many companies left in Shiawassee County that are not aware of those programs, which I'm very proud of. As Catherine said, we work very hard to try to get the word out up there on those tools and programs. So hopefully most everybody is. But if there are companies either on the call or friends, family that you know of that are in business locally that are not in the pipeline for either the PPP or the EIDL, please do let us know. We want to be able to help. And once again, if you have any thoughts on how to use PPP or have questions on how to use it, please get in touch with us. Wanted to actually have Jody talk about a couple of items. One that just came out last night that we're going to be getting some more information on, and then another one we've been talking about for a few weeks, the WorkShare program, and then the new one is on some child care grants. So, Jody, can you touch on both of those items, please?
Sure. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So I'll start with the WorkShare program, and I know we've had a few people actually asking about this recently. The WorkShare program is something that employers can apply for to allow employees to work reduced hours, so they collect partial unemployment benefits to make up a portion of lost wages. WorkShare does not apply to seasonal, temporary, or intermittent employees. But the advantages are it minimizes or eliminates the need for layoffs, enables the business to retain your trained employees, and saves money because it keeps your skilled workforce intact. It can be used in almost all types of businesses or industries. The employees are eligible not just for state unemployment, but also for a portion of the federal money. I believe that corresponds to the hours that you're actually applying for unemployment. Basically, employers can set up multiple plans within an organization as long as each plan covers 2 or more employees. So you don't have to use this for an entire business. You can set up a WorkShare plan for 1 or more departments, shifts, or units, as long as the unit consists of 2 or more employees. And you have some flexibility in those or to specify the affected areas. You must assure, though, that nobody within a unit that you apply for will be laid off. Plans can be approved for up to 52 consecutive weeks, and if you experience an increase in business during that 52 weeks, you can hire or transfer someone into that affected unit. And there were some recent expansions to this plan. You now have to certify that a plan is in lieu of layoffs that would affect at least 10% of employees as a result, and result in an equivalent reduction in work hours of at least 10%. It had been 15% for both of those up to, I believe, the 23rd. This all went into effect. The percent reduction in hours applied to all affected employees in the unit can be as little as 10%, that's down from 15, or as much as 60%, which is up from 40 or 45. They can now also include employees who have been employed less than 3 months within the plan's affected unit, and employers that have been in business less than 3 years are now eligible. Up until the 23rd, I believe, they were not eligible. So there are a lot of different options. Obviously, like I said, you can apply for just portions. You apply through the UIA page. I can actually send some information to Justin to forward out. There's a fact sheet that gives information and a number that you can call if you are interested. The employer handles the entire work share process, including the application for the payments and the work share benefits. Applications and certifications are all submitted online by the employer. So there's nothing for the employees to do for this particular program. And then let me move on to child care. I believe this was just announced yesterday, actually, that there is a $130 million investment that has been made to make child care more affordable and accessible for Michigan families. The fund consists of $100 million in federal CARES Act funding and $30 million from the state child care fund. And those eligible are licensed child care centers, family group homes, subsidized license exempt providers. Beginning yesterday, eligible child care providers can apply for grants online. And there are some regulations here. Grant recipients must commit to reducing their weekly rates for families by at least 10% and provide care for children of essential workers regardless of where their parents or caregivers work. Grant recipients must agree not to charge a fee to hold a child's spot in a program while receiving the grant funds. And it looks like the grants start at $1,500 for home-based providers and $3,000 for child care centers. And additional funds will be rewarded based on the size of the provider, whether they're open and serving essential workers, and their quality rating. So that's just kind of a little basic information on that fund.
Okay, Jody, anything else?
I did want to also remind everybody there is a cybersecurity webinar for through SBDC tomorrow at 2 p.m. They have done this one before, but you are able to actually go in again and see the cybersecurity, register for that if you're interested in that topic. And I think that's it.
Very good. Thank you, Jody. And I am sending out right now to everybody some additional information that I just got this morning on these child care grants. So once again, our understanding is this is not money to have you pay for child care, but it's for the child care providers themselves to be able to lower their costs. So if any of you are in child care on the call, or you know of child care providers, or you have your workers go to certain child care centers for their kids, please get them this information as soon as possible. And then to the cybersecurity piece, I won't give it away, but we are working on a possible joint webinar with the Shiawassee Regional Chamber. We actually have a local provider that looks like we might be able to do a webinar on. So we're actually hopefully going to have a call with them maybe even yet this week, and then try to put something together regarding cybersecurity here coming up probably in the next week or two. So more to come on that cybersecurity option. So Jody, all set?
I am. Thank you.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, Jody. Appreciate that. So a couple other things. I think one thing we're going to be paying obviously very close attention to is what's going on in Lansing. We talked earlier in the week about the My Safe Start program. Did share that information with the group, emailed it out to you as well as talking about it. We're hearing indications that the construction industry is going to be restarted next week, I believe on the 7th. We're also hearing that at least the automotive sector is preparing to restart on the 18th, I believe, but there's still a lot of uncertainty out there. So the general sentiment that I have heard from most people is they appreciate that there is a plan, a general plan to reopen the economy. As we talked the other day, it looks like it's going to be regional based. One of the advantages, it appears, for Shiawassee County businesses is we are in the Lansing region, which has been relatively less hit with the virus versus the Detroit region. So that may allow us to go a little bit quicker. But you guys have probably been hearing about this. There is a challenge, and I won't get into the politics of it, with the governor and the legislature right now. But the one thing that I'm hearing, regardless of partisan politics, that I think is going to be very critical is people need more certainty on dates and timelines. So we know construction is opening May 7th, but in order to create some certainty for businesses and really to be able to prepare for reopening, to be able to have, all the appropriate safety protocols in place, to be able to have all the equipment on hand, that is going to be something that businesses need to have. Now, obviously, we know the challenges with this virus and trying to do timelines, but that is what I am hearing from the business community in Shiawassee is we appreciate that there is a plan and that it'll be rolled out by region, but we need to have a better understanding of what those dates are. So I know that's being worked on in Lansing, and we certainly would encourage the governor and the legislature to find a way to work together to get that done and establish some of those timelines. One more item I wanted to note, we've talked about already this week, but it's actually going to be coming up tomorrow. This issue of being able to provide equipment. Actually, two things I want to mention on equipment for business reopening. Number one, we did send out a survey yesterday that the Shiawassee Regional Chamber put together regarding masks. There might be an opportunity to procure some masks in bulk. So trying to understand if there is a way to get Shiawassee County businesses together to possibly purchase together to get better deals on masks. So if you've not filled out that survey yet, that was in one of my many emails yesterday. Please take just a couple minutes to do that. But also, we've talked about our friends with Michigan Economic Development Corporation and their Pure Michigan Business Connect platform. And so we're actually going to be having a call tomorrow morning, and I'll send out an email on this to everybody here later this morning. But any company in Shiawassee County or having a Shiawassee County presence that provides a product or service to help reopen businesses, so personal protective equipment, and you've seen some of my messages on that, some companies doing different things. Anyway, we want to have a call with our friends at that Business Connect program through MEDC because we'd love to see our companies get into that network to be able to provide products not only locally but also statewide. So it's basically a business lead generation opportunity for our folks. So any company on the call that is in that field that makes a product or a service that would help, we'd invite you to participate on that. So I will be sending out a note on that. I've already sent out some targeted invitations to companies I know, but if you know of anybody that would like to participate and learn more about that, it's a free service. It's basically a way for you to get more visibility with buyers throughout the state. And then finally, tomorrow we're going to have Josh Adams from Wausau Main Street on the call to review the survey that they just completed regarding customer sentiment on reopening. So as we've been talking about, trying to create that safe environment, not only for your workers, we need to have customers feel safe to walk back into your places of business. So really fascinating numbers, and Josh will share those tomorrow. So 1,600 plus people participated. So I think that is definitely a statistically significant survey. So we are working on some additional calls for next week, speakers for the call. So stay tuned for more on that. And then finally, as always, jobs, any companies out there looking to hire. We promoted some yesterday.
Good morning, Justin.
Morning.
Bob Rogers here. Just like to thank Catherine again. It's good to hear her voice. I'm anxious to be on the call tomorrow with the PMBC to see how that works as well. But appreciate all the hard work you guys are putting into this.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate your support too. And Bob, you were very gracious. Thank you. Thank you for your financial support of SEDP too, for what you did for us. Very much appreciate that during this challenging time.
Well, yeah, you mentioned that there wasn't a government program that helped your organization out. So I thought maybe if everybody that got a little help from PPP could send a little something your way to kind of help you with the services that you provide and maintain.
Yeah, we very much appreciate that. Any additional comments or questions from anybody on the call? It's *6. Okay, well, thank you, everybody. We'll do it one more time this week, tomorrow morning. As always, appreciate your engagement and support. If anything comes up, give us a call or shoot us an email. Thanks.
Thank you.